So just how big of an opening weekend will Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse have? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, take my word for it or don't. This is one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. It's also the best movie of the year so far. It will be a literal crime. Warrants for arrest need to be issued if this film, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, does not get nominated for Best Picture, not animated, Best Picture at the Academy Awards this year. But the question is going to be, how big will it be? Now, the first film did okay for itself. The first film was absolutely fantastic, but it didn't quite crack $400 million. Take a look at this. So it had a really good critic score, 97%, really great audience score, 93%, and it went on to make a respectable $384 million. And more importantly, it did win the Academy Award for Best Animated Film. But how well will the new film, Across the Spider-Verse, do this weekend? That is the question that we're here to discuss. So let's take a look right now at how it's open. Now, you guys know when they say a movie opens on, I don't know, let's make up a date, Friday, December 5th. We all know that really means it opens on Thursday, December 4th, right? Well, they call that day before, that extra early day that all films open to now, the preview day, if you will. And we now have the preview day numbers for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which of course yesterday was preview day. So let's go over to the classroom for a second and put in context. Now, the first movie back in 2018, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, it made $3.5 million on its preview night, okay? $3.5 million on its preview night. And for its entire opening weekend, it made $35 million. That was the first film. Well, in asking how will the second film do in its opening weekend, we obviously don't know the answer to that yet. We're going to speculate in a second. But we do have the second film's opening night preview number, and that is $17.38 million. $17.38 million. Now go back again and look at that first line up there. The first film's night. The first film's night did 3.5. This is just a hair under 5 times bigger than the first film did in its preview night. So that brings up the question, how big will the opening weekend be? Well, right now the projections are 80 to 90 million. That's the projections. That's what they're saying it could be, 80 to 90 million. Now, which even by itself, if you take the low end of that number, 80 million, that represents a more than double what Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse made on its opening weekend back in 2018. But as you know, Chris Carr and I discussed on the John Campea Show podcast a bit earlier today, and by the way, you can go and find that podcast on your favorite podcasting app of choice. As we discussed a little bit earlier, those projections were made before audiences started to see this movie. And the word of mouth and response that this movie is getting, it's not just people saying this movie is good or great. We're hearing people say things like, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. We're hearing some people say this might be the best comic book movie of all time. We're hearing some people say this might be the best animated film I've ever seen of all time. We're hearing people say this is one of the most gorgeous, beautiful movies we've ever seen. Now, whether or not you feel that way when you see it, your mileage may vary. All film is subjective. The movie may hit you a little bit differently. But the point is, the word of mouth on this movie is insanely high. And that $80 to $90 million projection, I don't think was able to take into account that word of mouth. Now, do I think that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the sequel, will make like $200 million opening weekend? No, absolutely not. But if we go back to the classroom here, instead of that 80 to 90 million, I'm going to take a guess. It's going to go as high as 110 million, maybe even a little bit more. And who knows, maybe the industry analysts are right and it'll be between 80 and 90, which would be a huge jump, more than double what the first film did. But I'm just feeling that with the pure word of mouth, I think you already had 80 to 90 million dollars worth of tickets sold. And I think there's going to be a lot more people going, maybe I should try to get out to one of the screenings of this movie this weekend. And I think we're looking closer to $110 million. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, ExpressVPN. Guys, it is 2023, and online privacy and security has never been more important. You see, every device, phones, computers, tablets, has a unique IP address, which is like an internet phone number and reveals personal information about you. It's super simple for somebody online who knows what they're doing to find your IP address if you've ever clicked on a sketchy link or opened an email from somebody you don't know. Your IP address could become exposed. Now that's where ExpressVPN has your back. ExpressVPN is an app that hides your real IP address and replaces it with a dummy one, keeping you safe and private. And you don't have to be some kind of techie to use a VPN. Guys, it is so easy to use. Just download the ExpressVPN app on your phone or computer, tap one button to turn it on, and you're protected. And if you like your streaming entertainment, here's the coolest part. They let you choose what country you want your IP address to look like it's coming from. This is incredibly useful because services like Netflix and Disney Plus give you different shows depending on what country you're in. So secure your family's online activity and unlock tons of new shows by visiting expressvpn.com/Campea. Use my link and you can get 3 extra months free. That's expressvpn.com/Campea. Go to expressvpn.com/Campea to learn more. Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? I mean, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, 5 times, pretty much 5 times what the preview nights for the first film are. How big will this opening weekend be? The projections are saying 80 to 90. I'm thinking it goes as high as like 110. Who knows? Maybe even higher. Have you seen it already? If not, do you have your tickets? Maybe you don't even care about animated movies or Spider-Verse, whatever. Whatever you guys think about all this, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks a lot for watching our video. Make sure you click the thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel. And by the way, we do the John Campea Show podcast every day, so go and subscribe to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcasting app of choice is.